Hey, welcome back to my bullet journal YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing my March setup with you. I'm trying some new things. I did a time lapse instead of speeding up real-time footage, which saved a lot of storage on my phone. I don't know why I wasn't doing that before, because I was speeding up the videos anyway. But anyway, better late than never. I know we're already a week into March, so you probably already set up March. If not, here's a great idea for you. And if you have, here's a great idea for April. Okay, anyway, here you go. So far for 2023, I have been keeping up with doing a full double page spread of purely artsy things. No calendar or anything, just introducing my theme in the most fun way I possibly can. So March was no exception, and I decided that for the left-hand page, I wanted this grid to really incorporate my color palette really nicely just from the get-go of the month. The stencil that you just saw me using, I made that with my Cricut, and let me tell you, for these lime slices and even the cherries, honestly, everything, it was so convenient to have drawn it once on my iPad and then just trace with pencil and then freehand the ink on top. It worked out super well. Highly recommend. I was very pleased with how I approached this. And then of course, erasing the pencil lines underneath the ink and going in with color. Originally, I did use that hot pink color that you see along with the dark green, the light green, and the light pink. The reason that I decided to steer away from the hot pink was because if you look at it, it's really kind of looking very July, super summery, and it's still March, it's still spring. I wanted it to be softer. I didn't want it to be so poolside beach towel, if that makes sense. So I toned it down with this burgundy maroon, and I love that I did that. I was so happy. So next you'll notice that I did pencil my calendar, my mood trackers, my habit tracker, all of my weeklies before I went in with the marker and the pen. I've never done it this way before, and I actually I'm really happy that I did, because that way I could just take that cute grid that I made, take those colors, take that cherry lime theme, and then run with that in a creative way, but already have the measuring and the shapes and the spacing figured out. I love that I did it that way. I would highly recommend it. I think I'm gonna just keep on doing it like this because it really helped my creative process a lot. And just the cohesiveness in general. Okay, so added some little dots for the pop art. And the font that I used was inspired by just kind of a cartoon bubble font. And it was also perfect because these tabs, I had 4 tabs and I have 4 colors in my color palette. Perfect. Just absolutely perfect. And then throughout, you'll notice on each of these spreads, I'm really sticking with the dots, cherries, limes, and then sort of a comic strip feel to it. I just saw a lot of really cool different pieces of art that were sort of comic inspired. Not comics in the way that like tell a joke, like not the joking comics, but just that pop art graphic design kind of thing. I didn't go to art school though, so I don't know what it's all called, but I do very much appreciate it. So take that as you will. I also don't stick to just one format for my weekly spreads. I really like to switch it up. It kind of just helps me feel like each week is a fresh new week. It helps me feel like I'm keeping my creativity like alive, not just when I'm making all of the spreads, but also just when I'm using them. I guess the one thing that I do kind of carry through every weekly is that tiny calendar with whatever week it is highlighted. So you see it's highlighted in pink right where that little March speech bubble is. And I just like to carry that throughout. And that's the kind of one consistent thing through all of my weeklies. But I do like to switch up, the format, like I said. So I also, you see I didn't even pencil any of these designs before I just went in with them, because usually by the time I'm getting to like the 3rd or 4th week of the month, I have a pretty good feel for how I want to draw, you know, the cherries, the limes, whatever design I've been kind of coming up with up to that point, and I've practiced it a lot already from the first couple spreads, so I feel a lot more confident freehanding it after that point. Just I have more of a method down, and then of course I add just the typical, you know, boxes and shadows and different lettering techniques that I've sort of built up the skills for just throughout the years, and I just kind of let them all melt together in whatever ends up being my theme for the month. These dots were both fun and tedious because they look so awesome, and I used this adorable stencil that I made, so I loved that. And you can see I kind of added some throughout these pages as well in my final flip through. And overall, I really think I stuck with my theme. I love the way that the pages are all unique, but also cohesive. So I'm really proud of that. And that's my March setup. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.